Welcome to Table Talk with Brenda Perryman right here on TV 33 WHPR, Comcast 90 in Detroit and Oakland County and all over the world, courtesy of the web. You know the
Right.
deal. We have a special show this morning and guest co-host. We're like The View, only better. And we have a special guest that we're going to introduce in just a few minutes also. So I'll have my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays. It's Dr. Rose Moulton, clinical psychologist, speaker, and author of Bloom 7 Steps to Personal Transformation.
Good morning, Tamika Ashford, Public Relations Consultant for the Ashford Agency.
Morning, I'm Victoria Reese of Victor Group, and I'm Miss Perryman's former student.
But you're so much more than that. You're
More
a
than that,
grown
more than
woman. You graduated from Howard and all this stuff,
wow.
and you live in Los Angeles. So
I do,
thank
I
you.
do.
We had an emergency, and she said she'd sit in because I would love to hear what she has to say on some of these topics. But on this day, which is written by Ken Coleman, on this day on December 19th, 1970, Tears of a Clown by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles is the nation's pop song. In case you don't remember it, he says in it, just like Pagliacci did, I keep my sadness here. I'm kind of off key this morning because my throat is
Is that what it is?
It will hold the distinction of being the group's only number one hit with Robinson as a member.
Wow.
It was recorded on Motown Records Tamla. And I had that song. That was the jam. And Pagliacci was the clown. And he had been studying that in school about the sad clown.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he ended up putting Pagliacci in. Because here he was, 19 years old, and putting Pagliacci in. Anyway,
pretty
the sad
impressive.
clown. Well, we're going to be back in just a minute with our special guest, Monica Blair. So we'll be taking it out in just a moment. And we'll be right back because we're talking race issues this morning and a few things about Bill Cosby. And I've had some other enlightenments on Bill Cosby's situation, and it's not all negative.
Oh, I'm interested to hear about that.
Yeah, we're going to fight. No, I'm not saying he didn't do it. We'll be back in just a moment, everybody. We're back, and we're going to get right into the issues that affect us socially and a little politically. But first, we wanted to talk about the Obamas. And they had an article because they did an interview on how we deal, talking about them, with our own racial issues. And what were some of the things that you thought that they brought up as far as President Obama?
You know, basically, he shared the commonality of experience that he and his wife throughout their lifetime prior to, well, I don't even want to say prior to because they're still experiencing it now, but, you know, the racist, just different experiences and scenarios that they've been experiencing in their life in America, sharing the fact that if you're a black man, one of the quotes he said, in America, they've ever gone to a restaurant, you've been mistaken if you're dressed up as the help or the valet person. And Michelle shares a story of them being at a black tie event and he's walking around with this tuxedo on, and one of the participants asks if he can go get him some coffee. You know, he assumes that the future president of the United States is actually the wait staff there. So they're just basically sharing what all of us, I think, as African Americans in America have experienced, that people who
They
are privy to that-
underestimate you.
underestimate you.
Mother, you know, just be careful. This is not post-racial America. I don't know if I'll ever see it in my lifetime, but it's not. Let's quickly go over to Bill Cosby. His wife spoke out, and daughter spoke out in his defense. Can anyone just kind of speak to that real quick?
Who wants to take it? Nobody's rushing to that.
I mean, we expect for the wife to stand by your man. Again, you know, these are allegations, and so nothing, you know, when it's an allegation and it has been 30 years since this situation allegedly.
Well,
you know.
now there's new charges
Oh,
as
it
of this
is?
morning.
This morning, I
This
didn't.
morning, what happened? Please update
Breaking
us.
news. No.
Yeah, breaking news. You got
The LA prosecutor's office opening up a new investigation because there are new women who've come forward with 2008 allegations. There are some others who I think you guys saw the story of another in the Playboy Mansion that was recent, like in 2008, around that time. And he is very good friends with Hugh Hefner. And,
Right.
There's been a couple women who were at the Playboy Mansion who are again given very similar stories about being drugged and not remembering things. So on the way in, listening to Sirius Radio this morning, it was indicated that the LA office, Los Angeles Police Department now is opening up investigations once again. And I think Dr. Phil McGraw is going to have another woman who, on his show today, 2008, explaining her situation.
Can I say one thing? I just find it interesting how we're handling the Bill Cosby situation versus the actor from Seventh Heaven. You know, you hear
Stephen
his name?
Collins. Stephen Collins.
and those were children, right?
Right.
Okay.
He gave an interview yesterday.
Yeah.
A
speaking of
blurb.
that.
We heard a
Yeah.
blurb.
He, and I hear what you're saying, but he was nowhere as big as Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
And
I
the
mean,
role that Bill Cosby played
Okay.
for us,
Yeah.
I think that's the heartbreak in it. Like that's Black
He was
America's
our daddy.
dad.
He was our daddy.
And
Yeah.
he was just like dads can be, very judgmental in telling you, what is rumored to have disowned or disconnected himself with Lisa Bonet because
Yep.
of what he felt was very inappropriate things or
Yeah.
she did in the film world.
Yeah.
I always believe people who are most judgmental are typically the people who have the most to hide.
Well, his wife said, the daughter says, a different man has been portrayed in the media over the last 2 months. It's a portrait of a man I don't know. That's what Camille said. I mean, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen here, It just seems in the last 2 months between athletes and
Let's stop putting people in these positions of esteem too. It was
Well-
reported he had a 20-year affair with a woman and we know that everybody's human,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but what they're reporting allegedly is criminal.
Right.
This is criminal. This is not just someone who had discretions in his marriage or what have you. And now with the Beverly Johnson accusations, Kathy Lee Gifford this week.
Now, Kathy Lee needs to sit down. He tried to kiss me.
I mean,
What woman has to? I mean, come on.
But I guess she's trying to say he was a married man. And
What married man?
But I think that
Do
we
we
have
have a call? Do we have a call?
the married man I'm married to.
We have Linda on the line real quick. We got to go to Linda and then we have to cut. Good morning,
Okay,
Linda.
I'm just going to make it real quick. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What I wanted to say is that most of these cases 30, 40 years ago, and they keep saying, well, it's because he was Bill Cosby. Well, he still was a black man. And most of these women 30 or 40 years ago was white. So I think if they had come forth, he would have been crucified. It doesn't matter if he was an actor and popular. They would have got him. So I
That's
don't
a
know.
good
I ain't
thought.
buying all these stories. And all of them, the same story. And they have found out that some of them were lying. So I just think we need to kind of be objective before we jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, now we have.
Have a good day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
The woman who's going to be on Dr. Phil is actually African American female. We know Beverly Johnson is an African American
wow.
female as well.
And guess what? We're turning into pumpkins, everybody. It's that time. I mean, the fastest hour in America. I tell you, this is fast. Everybody, have a Merry Christmas. I'll probably see you on the morning show. I don't know if I'll see you on Table Talk next Friday, but I will be here, and I do have guests. And I will talk to you soon. Merry Christmas, ladies.
Merry Christmas to you.
I shall try. And we will see you next week.